Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Paid Search Podcast. My name is Jason Rothman. As always, I'm joined by the great Chris Schaefer. Chris, how's it going today?
I'm doing great, Jason. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. Hope I didn't seem too standoffish before the show. I've been on the East Coast. I'm back in the Midwest. I need to start
Yeah,
behaving like I'm back in the Midwest.
yeah.
But that's what people are like on the East Coast, Chris. It's very down to business, in your face, aggressive. Let's go
Mm-hmm.
on the move.
Yeah. Business. Yeah. That. Do they do a head nod on the East Coast? I mean, do they at least do that? I know they don't do like a morning or how you doing? That kind of stuff. But they do the head nod in the
No,
morning. Is
no,
no,
no. Okay,
no.
everything can be taken the wrong way. Everything has a implication
Oh,
of potential violence because there's so many people in a small space that you just got to mind your own business.
wow.
It's very different, Chris. But yeah, I was
Yeah,
traveling. I just wanted to save some of this for the show. That's why I was a little
yeah.
standoffish. I don't want to
That's fine. That's
go
fine.
too
Yeah,
deep before we hit
I
record.
understand.
But it's great to see you. I've been all over the country, Chris. I've been in Atlanta. I've been in
Wow,
Washington D.C. I've been in
wow.
Maryland, and now I'm back in Oklahoma here in
It's
Texas. It's good to be back, but it's good to
yeah.
travel too, Chris. It's a big world out there, and it was a nice reset.
Yeah, the podcast, went on as normal. We publish right on time as always. But yeah, for you and I, we haven't spoken in a while.
No, we
And
haven't.
yeah, you've been traveling, you've been busy, dragging your family along with you. That's
Yeah.
rough. Travel and kids, it feels like oil and water. It just they don't mix.
It
It's
was tough.
rough.
It was tough, Chris, and there were challenges, but there were challenges I had to prepare for, challenges I had to overcome,
Wow.
and challenges I had to get through. And I got to tell you, Chris, I'm addicted to it now. I don't like
Oh
it, but I
no.
need to go do it again. I need to do it a few times a year.
What?
I do. I do because
Oh
I had not traveled for, I don't know, a decade or
yeah.
more. And I was in my routines, I was in my rhythm. And for me, what happened, Chris, is a lot of the things that got tough, a lot of the things that got stressful with life, with business, they're not hard at all once you're traveling across the country
Mm,
with kids and stuff. And I don't know, it just gave me a new sense of gratitude for where I live, new sense
mm.
of gratitude for
Yeah,
where I'm
that's
at,
true.
and it made all my little business problems seem so small
Yeah.
and very
You
easy to overcome. I got to tell you, it was very
wow.
refreshing trip. Nice reset. Yeah, I got to tell you.
Wow. Well,
Yeah,
quick little flight down south, and you could. I mean, since you're in the traveling mood, always room for you here. So come
yeah.
on down.
Let's plan a date. I'm not kidding anymore, Chris. Yeah,
Holy cow!
yeah. It's
You
totally
have
changed my
changed.
outlook. Yeah,
Like,
totally changed. Yeah,
wow. This
yeah.
is Jason
You
Rothman
got to
the
do it every now
second.
and then. I saw Lincoln, I saw Washington. I was there. I saw the
Yes,
people.
that is a special. I've done those trips a couple times.
Chris, I started this
That's
country,
inspiring.
13 colonies, and they were all in the same place. And then you had that Virginia place. It was always kind of more southern, more weird, more
Mm,
rural. But now it's a huge country, Chris. I don't think, if you're not going around the country, for me at least, I don't think you can appreciate how different,
yeah,
seriously, how different people live in different parts of the countries. And then you start thinking about everything so polarized, and it's like, well, yeah, everyone's living
different
completely different,
lives.
and you got to respect that. They're
Yeah.
living there, they're living here. It's like
Mm,
it's very different, Chris.
yeah.
Very different.
Well, that's great. I like the perspective. That's
Big
deep. That's
perspective. It
good.
also showed me that there are a ton of people out there, Chris.
Oh,
A ton of people. Nobody cares what you're doing.
yeah.
You're not doing anything that important.
Yeah.
And when it comes to, I'm talking to you
Right.
singularly, Chris. No, I'm kidding.
Specifically
I'm
me.
talking to myself too. No, seriously. It just shows you how much
Yeah.
is going on. And we have this podcast, we have a bit of a following, but it's like,
It's nothing.
really, at the end of the day, these many thousands of people across the world, it's still a very small group of very special, talented people, but we're all kind of in our little bubble here
Yeah.
with Google Ads. And where this comes around to the episode in Google Ads is like, there are so many, I don't even want to put a number on it, but there's so many people, so many small businesses, so many entrepreneurs and business owners that could be benefiting from Google Ads and from presenting their business on the internet the right way. It's not infinite, but it's like a lot more than I think what we run into on a month to month basis. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
It's a big world out there, Chris.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. It's difficult to know what you're missing when you don't even know. And there's so much out there that
Yeah.
yeah, people don't know. And just because we have hundreds and hundreds of episodes out there, and we feel like we've talked to a billion people, um, you
We
know,
haven't.
We haven't. There's still so many people, and that's why we keep talking about this, because there's always more people that can learn and benefit.
Well, Chris, it's good to be back. It's good to be back with you.
Yeah.
Episode 339. We're going to be talking about the best. It's a singular word, the best Google Ads strategies, specifically for small businesses who are trying to generate leads to come into their business, to call them, to hire them. And we're just going to be talking about the best of the best.
Yeah.
And we'll get into it right after this message from Chris.
Yeah, I want to tell you guys about a complete toolkit for Google Ads managers. I am talking about Optio. If you have not heard about this, I feel like I've said it a million times, but as we said, you probably haven't heard about this because you're living in your world. You're going through, you're grinding through Google Ads, doing your reports, doing your changes, your management, you're tracking your spend, all this kind of stuff. And lo and behold, there is a tool out there that is designed for you. If you're listening to this podcast and you're interested in getting more efficient with your Google Ads, this tool takes you to the next level. This is a toolkit designed for Google Ads. It doesn't get any better than that. This thing spits out amazing personalized recommendations based on your data in your each account that you're managing. So if you're managing one account or you're managing 100 accounts, this tool is designed to speed up the precision of the improvements that you make, adding keywords, removing duplicate keywords, increasing individual keyword bids, to a small fraction of an amount, 12% increase, because that will bring up the return on ad spend for this keyword, this amount, in which will hit your goal. All kinds of amazing subtle changes that we as humans just can't see because we don't have the time or the processing power to see it. You can try this tool 100% free for 2 months, 8 weeks for free at opteo.com/PSP. This is an exclusive deal. When you go to that URL, it's in the link, whether you're watching on YouTube or you're listening on the podcast, you can click that link and get a special deal just for our listeners. That's opteo.com/PSP.
Okay, Chris. So let's talk about the best campaign type for small businesses who are trying to generate leads from Google Ads. You got Performance Max out there. You got competitor campaigns. You got brand campaigns. You got search. You've got broad keyword campaigns. You've got Google Maps. What is the best campaign type? The best for a local small business out there?
Oh, man. I mean, so I don't want to just jump right in and just say it because, in reality, I think I know, but let's go through it. There's even the smart campaign, the Google local ad that you can create, where you essentially just kind of give Google some directions, that you give them a couple hints on what you're trying to bring in, some suggestions on topics of keywords, and the whole thing just runs. And that there's a huge benefit to that because it's very simple. And most of the time it gets the right kind of traffic and it works very well, very simplistic kind of approach. Then taking things, and shifting them into high gear, you get, things like the Performance Max, which is essentially the local campaigns on steroids. It takes and approaches all of the Google networks and, sends traffic to all of those networks across different audiences and insights and all kinds of complicated things where you have more options, but it's still very much an automated campaign, very much designed for people who, don't really want to look under the hood and don't really want to learn a whole new system. Pretty good idea there, and then the classic just Google search campaign,
Keywords.
You get the traffic that you're looking for. You have the ability to pop the hood and make very strategic.
I'm back on the East Coast now. I did not ask you for a tour of the internet. I asked you for the best campaign type in Google Ads.
I'm talking out loud here.
I don't have time for you to talk out loud.
Oh, wow.
I don't have time for you to think.
Okay.
Reaction, instinct. What's the best campaign on Google Ads?
Search.
Don't interrupt me. I'm from the East Coast.
Gosh, this new Jason from the East Coast.
No, I can't take it. It's too much pressure. How you doing, Chris? Search. What do you mean by search? There's lots of different things you can do with search.
I think a Google.com search, not blended with display,
Not blended with
not search
partners?
partners.
Okay.
Literally just google.com. And the reason I say that is because if I had $500 or $500,000, I would still feel the same amount of confidence running that amount on a google.com search campaign that, targeted, a set of keywords, and it didn't go beyond that. I would feel comfortable. That's where I feel most secure, the least amount of variance and questions with just a Google search campaign.
Yeah, variants and questions like how's this going to do for a new account versus an account that's been running for 10 years and has many thousands of impressions? How's this kind of campaign going to do on this industry versus that industry? There's no questions with that with search, and I'm with you. And I would build on the deepness that you're going here. You're saying google.com search,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to go a step further. I'm going to agree with that and go a step further and say a google.com search campaign for new customers,
Okay.
as
Yeah.
opposed to brand,
Yeah.
and for customers who are open to anybody as opposed to a brand or a competitor keyword or even a broad keyword campaign.
Yeah.
If I'm limiting it to the best campaign type for small business owners, and I want to go deeper in terms of who we're talking to. We're talking to small business owners that know their way around Google Ads, that have been doing it for years, know the difference between broad keywords, exact and phrase match, know the difference between max conversion bidding versus manual, and feel comfortable doing all different sorts of strategies and know the differences. I want to take it to that level today. And I think for someone who kind of knows what they're doing, you can't go better than like the orthodontist near me, auto repair shops in Baltimore, like those kind of searches where someone's searching and they're open to any business that can help them as long as that business can go and meet them where they're looking, which is google.com search, primarily the top 4 listings above organic.
Yeah.
New traffic, focused traffic, if you will, search campaign. A lot's changed with the internet, Chris. It's changing all the time. Sometimes some social media networks are hot. Sometimes they're not. There's constant evolution, constant change. But when you think about search, you've been here almost the whole time, Chris. Is it changing that much? The really, really good stuff?
I have seen.
And when
Google
did you start? So
search
people know, just for the context.
I built my first Google Ads campaign in 2003.
That's a long time ago, and I'm not doing any jokes or anything. Like for real, we're coming up on 20 years.
20 years, yeah.
Yeah.
20 years.
Congratulations.
Ago. Well, thank you, you. I have seen campaigns that not have lasted. I don't think I've personally seen single campaigns that have been running for 20 years, but I have seen close to 20-year search campaigns that just are simple, direct google.com traffic. And I see other campaigns that come and go. Campaign, Performance Max, and all the history, all the graveyard of campaign types that Google has created and killed over the years, tried and moved on to something else.
I'm going to say evolved and improved.
Okay, there you go. You're right. Sorry. Yeah, evolved and improved.
You like that? It's good.
It's so much better. You're such a better, such a better PC man.
Hey, but keep trying to make those titles before the show, Chris. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Keep trying to do that. Go ahead.
I want to contribute. Go ahead. I don't contribute much.
You contribute a lot.
And
yeah.
when
especially
I do,
once we start going to
immediately
YouTube with that nice angular high cheek. Okay, go ahead.
So those campaigns, I think you got a great point there. Those campaigns, there's nothing like the test of time to say, boom, like.
And Chris, they're not changing. People are still having kids. They're doing things to have kids. You know what I mean?
What do you mean? No. What do they?
And then they have the kids.
Oh.
And then they say, "All right, we're done having kids."
Uh-huh.
And then they do the thing again, and then they have more kids.
Jason, are you telling me?
I don't know. I haven't. No, nothing. No, trust me. Nothing's on the board here, but I just have a gut feeling that it's out of my control that I will be having more soon because I love them so much. And then it's like, I don't know. I can foresee a third one here. So, no, you need it, Chris. You need the reset.
With an infant, that's impossible.
No, you got to let it go a little. Yeah, you got to go a little further than that. But so what I was saying here is, everything is, you could say a lot has changed. Like the suggested searches have changed. Orthodontist near me versus orthodontist in my area, whatever.
Yeah,
You could
sure.
say, I think the biggest change with those kind of searches was the move from only desktop to the move to a lot of mobile. That's a
Yeah.
huge change. Facebook did well with it. Google did really well with it, and they've overcome it. What has really changed from someone in 2003 trying to find an orthodontist for their kid versus today trying to find an orthodontist for their kid versus as far as we can foresee in the future? I mean, are they going to have goggles on saying, take the hot dog out of their mouth, take the Cheetos out of their mouth, orthodontist, and then it comes up on the AR, VR, whatever? I don't think it's going to be like that in 5 years. I think they're going to pull out their iPhone. I think
Right.
they're going to type orthodontist near
It's
me.
yeah. I mean,
It
they
stood the test of time, and it freaking works. And that
Yeah.
orthodontist that you've probably been managing their account for 20 years, they're still producing 5 times return on
Still
their ad
works.
spend, and it
Still
just goes
works.
on and on and on.
Yeah.
That's why I'm going to say search for focus traffic for looking for a new company to work with. Boom.
Yeah.
That's the best. It doesn't mean you can't do the other stuff, but today we're talking about the best.
Yeah. That's it. I mean, I tried. I hit some other new trendy things that are happening, but in the end, it's the dinosaur in the room, and it's withstood all the changes, and it still works.
It's the best, and it doesn't mean that you can't have an orthodontist or you're an orthodontist and you're running and you're at 100% search impression share. And then you go, well, what if we try broad keywords? And then you run broad keywords and you get a 9 times return on spend instead of 5. Are they converting into patients at the same rate? Maybe, maybe not. But there's a lot of variance. 1 month it might be a 9. The next month it might be a 2.
Yeah.
You'll be trying to figure it out. That's why we come back to it. Doesn't mean you can't do that stuff. It's just what is the best, singularly the best search campaign, focus traffic, open to working with someone new. So let's talk about the best bidding strategy. Let's build on this, Chris. You're running a search campaign, google.com, focus traffic, looking for any company that they can find. What is the best bidding strategy to run on that kind of campaign?
Oh, well, I don't know if I'm allowed to do a little. I'll shorten the tour this time. This will be a little short nickel tour. So, in my mind, I feel like there's only 2 categories. There's automated and manual. So either it's going to have to be either something in the automated category or manual. I feel like those are the 2.
It's a really good way to simplify the decision.
Basic, yeah. So
figure out what direction you want to go in.
And
by the way, Chris, this is someone who's in their account maybe an hour a month. It's been running for years. They know what they're doing. They know how to do both.
Yeah.
They can do automated. They can do manual. So they have the skill set. I just want to put that out there.
I mean, the thing is, I'm tempted to go with manual, but I feel like that is such a heavy risk over time. If we're talking about withstanding the test of time, it's a tough one because manual has been around from the very beginning, but max clicks, max conversions, target CPA, these have not. These are relatively new bidding strategies that were not around, and they have not withstood the test of time. But we're in a new era now, right? I mean, we're 20 years in. The algorithms aren't going to get any worse. They're only going to get better. And I feel like from here forward, from today forward, we're not talking about what was the best in all time, but what's the best right now and moving forward. I think an automated campaign bidding strategy, I think, is probably better because it allows for your campaign to be able to shift and adjust as needed without the manual input. Is that shocking that I'm going that way? I'm kind of shocked that I said it.
The old dog has new tricks. Give me a bark. Give me a woof woof. Come on, do it.
I don't.
Please.
Do that. No, I do a lot.
Be a good boy. Be a good boy.
No.
Down.
I
You want a treat?
No.
The old dog has new tricks, Chris. I did not expect that answer out of you.
I know.
But I'm gonna be in agreement with you because we talk about variance and we talk about the best, and we're trying to find the best for the most people.
Yeah.
And manual can be the best for a small amount of people that want to stay up with it and have that extreme skill set. But for the
Yeah.
most small business owners out there, if you have your conversion tracking in place and you know what you're doing with that, I don't think you can do better than max conversions over time.
Yeah.
Next month might be rough. The next 3 months might be great. Then you have a rough couple weeks, whatever. But if you really take the long-term view and look at your performance over quarters and over years,
Yeah.
now people are going to say, well, I thought nothing changed with search except for a few suggested searches. And from the switch from just desktop to desktop and mobile, I thought you said those were the only changes. They're the only changes that we have control over. And people are still doing the same kind of searches. But what's come into play here is that back in the day, the word orthodontist, someone searching that word, that's going to be a low conversion keyword, especially phrase match. It's just going to be a low conversion rate keyword, may not have room in your campaign for it. But now that Google is able to see I don't want to say who, because it's not like that with the privacy, it's more generalized, but focused. It's a very strange thing. But
Yeah.
my point of view is that basically Google's really good at pinpointing people with privacy layered on.
Yeah.
And that person, it's like now target CPA bidding or max conversion bidding can go out there and say, well, this search user would not be a good person to bid a ton on an orthodontist phrase match search with that keyword in there. But this person is, based on the websites they've been to recently, based on the searches they've done recently, based on their conversion rates and other kinds of Google Ads accounts, maybe, we're going to increase the bid a lot for this search user on your phrase match keyword orthodontist. Target CPA bidding can do that and can do it successfully, or max conversion, whatever you want to call it. Manual cannot, even when it's the best people in the world doing it.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that, Chris?
Yeah, I do. I feel like,
And that's a lot of humble pie we just ate there,
Yeah.
but that's the
That's all we
results that I've
preach.
been seeing for the last 6 months to a year. That's the results you've been seeing in some cases. I've been in some spots where we have target CPA bidding on. I go, great, thank you. This is awesome. I'm going to make it better with manual. I switch it to manual, same great keywords, same great search terms, and the conversion rate drops and the cost per conversion goes up. I switch it back to target CPA and it goes back to where I want it. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's tough to take, but it's happening.
Yeah. I mean, I hate to say it, but when I think about it, the ultimate goal is not necessarily for me to stay on manual all the time for the majority of my clients. There are absolutely some clients where I am going to say, like, we need to be on manual because of a special type of situation that's happening. But for most clients, e-commerce, lead generation, I don't care what it is, the ultimate goal is to be able to set this thing up and put it on automated bids and let this thing
improve continually.
Improve without, and the big thing is, I think the big thing that you have to throw in that makes this decision solid for me is the fact that the market changes. We're talking about the test of time.
And the
jump forward 5 years. Jump forward 5 years, and the CPC is going to change. Competitors are going to come in and come out. Yeah. There's going to be a lot of variance in there, and the automated system allows for variance. So, wow, I didn't think we would be here, Jason, but here we are. Wow.
Well, the AI, the machine learning, the best in the world, maybe on par with governments and militaries, maybe helping governments and militaries. Like, the amount of technology we're getting access to is so powerful, I think, that you can't even comprehend it. So to think that I'm just thinking of like a missile system, and I'm using the word missile because I don't want to use another word that's even a lot of people are using lately, and it's like we shouldn't use that word. Yeah. But it's like, if you're going to do that, do you think the little soldier goes over across the world, flies on a plane, rides a boat, and then takes that big bomb and goes, here it is, boom? Or do you think they use the technology to their advantage?
Wow.
What are you going to do? You're going to go in there for every single search auction and go, I'm going to bid this. I'm going to bid. You physically can't do that.
You can't maintain that.
You can't do it. Well, you can't even do it. So it's like, use the technology that you have the ability to use, but you have to have the know-how how to use it to the best extent possible. We're building here search campaign, target CPA max. We got to get to the bottom of what that's being called today, but I like using it interchangeably there. So target CPA bidding, max conversion. Hey, you're going to change the name that much. We're going to use two
Yeah.
different names.
Yeah.
We're
fault.
only human. We're not AI. We can't predict
There you
here.
go. Mm-hmm.
The target CPA, the maximized conversion bidding, you do that stuff on searches, on keywords. So what kind of keywords are the best keywords?
Oh, well, this one's a little easier because our options are pretty limited. So if we lay out, do you agree with me that there's really only maybe 3 different types of keywords? There's like a very specific.
What, do you drink a lot of coffee this morning or something? Man,
No,
we haven't talked in a couple weeks. You sound like you're 17 years old.
I do.
Yeah,
Well,
you
thank
do.
you.
You sound, I don't know what it is, like a high pitch, like
Oh,
motivated. You know what? We're recording this a couple hours earlier than normal.
yeah, that's what it. I haven't eaten lunch. I'm
Have you
honestly.
done your workout?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
maybe that's what it is. Closer. You're
I'm
not
hungry.
slowing down. By 2 p.m., I think you're no good after 2.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm
Uh-huh.
realizing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I start my days at 6 o'clock in the morning, Jason.
Yeah, I hear you. We should maybe move this time, and I'm not even kidding.
Oh
We
no, I don't want to do it earlier
Why not?
because once I have a 1 hour session with you, I'm done. Like
You're
that's the end
done?
of my day. I'm
Yeah.
exhausted. You
Yeah.
exhaust me.
Well, what a compliment. Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to keep up with you.
Yeah.
So,
I'm just feeling a lot of energy from you today. I like it. I like it. So we're talking
well,
best bidding
it's
strategies.
new. We haven't done this in a while.
Fresh.
This is fresh and new. It's fun.
Yeah.
I haven't seen you, There's so much I want to talk about, but we
All
have
right.
to
So the
talk
best.
about Google Ads.
There's only 3 keywords. What the hell are you talking about?
Well, there's only 3 keywords. Really, there's like
What are you
really
talking about?
there's
There's
really
only 3 keywords.
broad. I don't know what the question actually means. I'm assuming that you're saying what's the best kind of keyword in relation to
The funnel.
a one word keyword that's kind of like a car repair.
Take it any way you want it. The funnel. I'm Chris. You're a small business owner out there. You're running a search campaign on Google.com. You're running maximize conversion target CPA bidding.
Okay.
You're spending $5,000 a month. You're not going to have 100 keywords. You're not going to have 500 keywords. So what kind of keywords are the best keywords to run?
Well, the best keyword is the keyword that's going to reflect what I always tell people. When they're like, well, what kind of keyword should I choose? I say, well, think about what someone would say that would best represent someone who has a problem that you're going to solve. So if you are a car repair service, it would be someone that says, a body shop services near me, body shop near me, something like that. So it's a question that you can best solve that with your service.
So I think we've
product.
just come to something here, because we could talk about the funnel, we could talk about near me, geo, we could talk about open keywords like car repair. But I think what we're getting at, the core truth that can apply to every industry, is that you're targeting keywords that show you with as much certainty as possible, which is all we can do is see the search that they did. They're showing you that they have a problem that they're looking for. I want to cuss so bad, but I just don't on this show, but I want to for emphasis.
You have before, and we got complaints. So
yeah, I mean, why
is it the East Coast? It's the East Coast doing that to you.
No, honestly, it's the emotions inside of me. They just have to get vented sometimes, and those foul words that
you should work out. It helps.
I work out, and I still need. All I do all day is work out. Yeah,
wow.
Yeah. It's just a lot of emotions, Chris. A lot of stuff that's got to come out here. But
okay,
what we're getting at here is that they have a problem. Everyone has problems, but they have a problem that just put in the cuss words you want to put in right here.
Okay, got it.
So hold
that's
on.
rough.
That's a lot of words.
Pretty bad.
So we need about 15, 18, 30 seconds here.
There we go.
That show they want a business to solve those problems. I think those are the best kind of keywords.
That's a good point.
Car repair. That's a problem. That's obviously, most likely, that person needs their car repaired. Do they want to do it themselves?
Yeah.
Do they want to go to a retail store to buy something to repair their?
Are they going to start a career? Are they looking?
Are they going to start a career? We don't know. And even if they want a business, do they want the brand name dealership? Do they want the local repair shop that you are?
Yep.
When someone's searching for braces, is it the teenager going, what are the kids going to say when I have braces? How long do braces take? Or is it the person with the problem that the business can solve,
Yeah.
orthodontist in Fort Worth,
Fort Worth.
not Houston, by the way. And
Yeah.
we can
No.
talk
No.
off air. There's some
No,
news
we're
going
not
on
gonna.
there. Okay.
We don't ever use Houston. No.
Okay.
No.
That a business can solve. Do you think that's like a very magical, very
Yeah.
impressive thing I came
I think
on
that's a
here
great.
that I figured out here, that we
I
figured out together?
no. You take it. I think you boiled it down. I was kind of hovering
Okay,
around,
sure.
and I
I'll
think
take it.
you said it. It is someone who not only is looking for a specific thing, but someone to provide that thing for them.
That
It's
a business, the business that
it's
you
a
are
difference
can
between
provide it.
DIY and do it for me. So whatever the initials.
And
for that.
sometimes a business is a business with a building and employees and all that. Sometimes a business is some kind of physical therapy trainer that comes to your house and does a certain kind of like very seldomly searched exercise routine. I've worked for those kind of clients, and
Yeah.
when you get in front of people that they have a problem, okay, that means they're looking for someone to give their money. They're looking for somewhere to spend their time. They're willing to invest something.
Yeah.
But they have to have a problem that you, whether you're a business or an individual or whatever you're representing out there, that your entity solves. And when they find your entity, they'll be like, oh, that's who I'm looking for, and they'll convert.
That's
those are the best kind of keywords. What are
Yep.
those keywords? Well, it depends on your business.
Yeah.
Depends on your industry, but that's the way to think about it.
And just to put a T on it, the difference is it's not braces, it's orthodontist near me, and it's not car repair, it's body shop near me. You know, that's the subtle difference. So take that, translate that into what you do. That's the best keyword.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break here, and we will be right back after this.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I want to remind you about our wonderful sponsor, Opteo, opteo.com/PSP. I tell you about it all the time. Some of you still haven't heard. I can't tell you how many people have responded to this amazing deal. This deal is, it doesn't get any better than this, and you don't know how long it's going to last, so I really want to encourage all of our listeners to try this out. If you like this show, you pay $0 for it. It helps if you help our sponsors. You support them, and they support us. It's the cycle of the podcast life. We thank you for checking them out. Wonderful management tool for Google Ads users, big and small.
Okay, Chris, we had some other best things to talk about, but I don't want to dilute the really, really strong episode that we've come up with here to this point in the episode.
Oh.
So I just want to wrap it up here with what are the best conversion actions in Google Ads? What are the best types of conversions? Because I think we've pretty much done everything here. We've talked about the best network to run your ads on, the best campaign type.
Yep.
We talked about the best bidding strategy.
Yep.
We talked about the best keyword. Well, I mean, what do you want us to talk about? The best ads? It's like, okay, you're going to be most likely using responsive ads. The best extensions? How about all of the ones you can use?
That's not
a good one.
Yeah.
So I think because the bidding strategy, maximize conversion, target CPA is so dependent on conversion.
Yep.
You have to feed the system the right conversion actions to optimize for. So for my world, Chris, lead generation for small businesses, I'm going to say form completions, not a newsletter where you get their email, but actual contact form. Like you get their phone number, you get their email, you get their name, you get their problem, some kind of, they're giving you information about the problem they have. That's the best, along with phone calls, but phone calls that last a realistic amount of time that shows there's potential with that caller.
Okay.
That at a high rate, they can end up giving you money.
Okay.
So for some businesses, that's 15 seconds. For other businesses, it's over 5 minutes or maybe even longer, but like some kind of realistic time threshold on there. Calls and forms. I'm going to count chats as forms because that's
really,
if
that's
someone's,
interesting.
and it's just a wave. I've tried to ride that wave. I've tried to get away from that wave. I can't escape the wave here of chat.
I find that chat logging is so unreliable and so inconsistent, and you know, people just use the chat, and it's such a bad idea to track it as a conversion that.
Oh, so good to tell the truth. I'm gonna join you, Chris. Well, I felt like I was missing something because so many people have chats, but then I talk to my clients who have chats, and it's like Not a lot comes in from chats, but here's the thing. I have seen real conversions that end up becoming customers come in from chats. So
Sure.
I'm going to leave the door open that if it's a really good chat and you're able to track it and you have a high confidence that it's the same thing as someone filling out a form.
That's what's so hard. When it comes to chat, it's like a phone call, but there's no solid connection to base the reality.
That's why
with.
I'm saying with the real form, like you get their information. I'm not saying a chat where they click the first thing where it says like, what do you need help with? And they click the first AI. It's not AI. It's a freaking, you could write it on a piece of paper. If they click this, then this. I did that in 3rd grade, by the way.
Yeah.
But if you actually get their contact information,
yeah,
I'm going to call that a form is what I was saying,
Okay.
you know?
And I think,
But is there anything else?
when it comes to conversion tracking, I want forms, and like you said, legit forms, you know, like someone who's sharing their contact info, and I want phone calls. If I get those two,
Yeah.
I'm going to assume I'm probably getting 70% or more of the total real leads they're getting, and I'm happy with that.
You're sitting at, we don't have to say the names of these big companies, but the big companies that do the video calls and all that.
Uh-huh.
Where's the innovation? What are your employees doing all day? Listen to what I've just come up with.
Mm-hmm.
Why are there not click to video call on websites? Click to FaceTime. Like,
how did you just invent that? And I never.
How did I just invent that? Because how much trust would you generate if someone goes video call the auto body shop now, and some guy with a huge beard, dip in his mouth, stains
grease
on his baseball hat, grease all over him, under the car. Yeah, it's Tony's. What do you need? And then they're like, you got this. Someone stole my Cadillac converter because I'm on the East Coast. And he goes, don't even say it. Come down to the shop. We'll take care of you right now. How much trust would that generate? You think they're going to go back to Google and search for other people?
Yeah.
How effective? Why aren't they doing that? Why isn't that on websites? Why aren't they charging like 3 pennies every time and attacks on the internet?
That's amazing.
And I don't want anything. I can't take on more responsibility. I can't show up anywhere. Like, I'm not looking for a job, but like when someone creates a business and they sell it to one of the big guys, just give me $5 million.
Oh,
$5 million.
Oh, $5 million.
Hey, I'm on the East Coast now, Chris. You know, cost of living. Just give me $5 million, please. Because what I just did for the internet, like, why isn't that a thing?
Yeah.
You know?
The technology's there.
Everybody's I'm like, got what's missing is the conversions.
And
God.
You know what that gets rid of, like, you know, people doing, you know, like phone answering systems. You know, you get to talk to the person. You know, you get to see who you're talking to, and how much trust would that? The trust is so heavy there. That's great.
So let's count those as conversions.
Yeah, those count those. They don't exist yet.
Comes up with that,
but I count them.
All right, Chris. Well, we are the best Google Ads podcast.
That's it. That was the last question.
Internet. Yeah.
What's the best podcast for Google Ads? You're listening to it.
Yeah.
Chris Schaefer, Jason Rothman. That's it.
Yeah, Chris, you're at chrisschaefer.com.
Jason,
I'm at rothmanppc.com.
There you go.
And we'll be talking after the show, Chris. So thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks for sharing the show, and we will see you next week here on the Paid Search Podcast.